Divine Rising, Yan.
Divine Rising. Happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday, Wellness Wednesday. I'm looking
Yeah,
forward
I
to this session.
same, because I know that whatever you share and what we bring to this each episode, someone's going to be gifted with the wisdom. And
Yeah, yeah. I think so too. I think so too.
so,
So how do you want to get started today?
we were talking about so one of the biggest I guess there's many challenges when people are going through any type of cancer. But the challenge is the side effects of the chemotherapy, and one thing is food, right? We talk about how food is medicine, but a lot of times, depending on if you're getting from a Western doctor, an oncologist who's treating you, they might not think food as medicine. And my challenge is when I work with client is when the doctors say to you, you can eat whatever you want.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you gotten that, right?
Yeah,
When
yeah, yeah. I didn't, yes, and I didn't like that at all. And one of the doctors did say that to me. Oh, don't worry about it as long as you get something in, but what I do know is the more sugar intake, and I guess you can go into it a little more clearly than the way I might state it right now. But when I literally ate the sugar, I didn't feel well. And
Mhm.
so, but of course, you go get a bowl of cereal because that's the fastest thing you can do, the fastest thing you can do in the morning, or in the afternoon, you might want to get a Danish or something like that. Like, oh, just put something in. Well, that's not healthy. That wasn't doing anything to help me heal. But, their thing is, as long as you're taking chemo and you can't eat, whatever you can put in is going to be good, it's okay. And I didn't find that to be true at all. As a matter of fact, I felt more ill when I ate the sugar.
Yeah. So I'll dive that back, come back to that. I know why the doctors say that. They're not trying to harm you. So I'm not
Okay.
against like East or West, and I'm truly our favor of finding the best of each solution. But I know with doctors, and when they say their good intention is, I don't want you to lose weight, and I know you lose your appetite, and I know you will lose weight. So they worry about the weight, but not really the nutrition factor. Okay.
Yes,
They're
yes, that
not,
makes sense.
and so they say, I have people say, eat yogurt, eat ice cream, you need to treat yourself, go ahead, like, whatever it is, drink Ensure, drink shakes, like whatever it is. But a lot of these things have a lot of sugar, right?
Yes,
And so they don't see sugar as a bad thing. They just think like, well, sugar is energy and you need energy. That's how they're seeing it in a very basic level. And so it's music to everyone's ear, right? Don't you want to
right,
hear that? To say
right, right.
whatever you want. And and then they just tell you to expect the side effects of the chemo, not just thinking like the food can combine with the chemo also make you feel worse in a sense. So anyway, so I think that's why people are confused with that. And then people don't realize there's no emphasis though, and this is what I want to talk about today with you is there's no emphasis on how much chemotherapy treatment affects your taste bud to the point where someone I'm working with right now that she's really not eating because she doesn't like the taste of food now. The
Right.
food that she used to like, she doesn't like. And now isotonic supplementation, which is in liquid form, so it's very easy to ingest. She has a lot of obstruction in her digestions. So digesting solid food or eating a lot of solid food, it's hard for her. So drinking bone broth and other broth and then drinking the liquid isotonic supplements easier. She had no problem with that before she started chemo, but then she had problem with it. The taste of it really threw her off. And then now she stopped everything, which is really
Yeah.
concerning.
Yeah, yeah, and I understand that because when I was going through it, the same thing, and I don't know if you remember, I said to you, yeah, look at my tongue, like my tongue, the food started tasting different. The idea that I can literally see different colors on my tongue, and I didn't like any of the food. But
Oh,
for
yeah.
me, it was
Now, do you mind if
I
I share that picture you share with me? Do you mind if I share that in
Oh,
this
you could share it.
episode? Okay, great.
Absolutely, you could share that. Um, I literally felt like "Ew, this food is didn't taste good to me." However, I also knew that there was something happening with my tongue, and I'd rather, eat than not eat, and so, if it's okay, I'm gonna share the fact that I also had you, um fix the foods that I knew that would help me, especially on a cellular level, to regain my strength, to regain whatever it was I needed so that I
Mm.
can show up healthily and my eating and all of that. So I literally would say, even if it didn't taste good, I wasn't eating for it to taste good. I was eating to heal. And so it was
Mhm.
important for me to take the foods that you were introducing to me, and even if I didn't like the way it tastes, I knew that it was going to help me on the long end. I think that's how you say it.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah,
Talk about that mindset though, because it goes always will go back to the mindset. You didn't
yes,
like how it tastes. Because I lost two people who couldn't who lost, who left this world. And it was a specific conversation again. I He actually were big on the fast food, the pizza, the
yeah, yeah,
steaks, the beer, and this particular it's a male client, and he had colon cancer, and he said, he doesn't really eat a lot of vegetables and fruit, but because he's seen a lot of success of me working with other people, he said, I'm gonna give it a try. He said, I don't cook, and so he had me cook for him for 2 weeks. And he did not like any of the, he's like, I'm not
yeah,
used to eating all this vegetables, broccoli and Brussels sprouts and lentils and all
yeah,
this stuff. And so he gave up, and I
yeah.
feel really bad for them. And I think this is why it's an important topic. How do you work with that mindset? Because I guess at that time, his mindset was like, nope, I'm not even gonna do that. I don't like it.
And you're absolutely spot on when you talk about mindset. And I think a lot of what we do in our healing, I mean, I'm stretch just a little, in every facet. If we're talking about a holistic approach in, so I'm just going to say, mindset shows up in everything: your spiritual walk, your financial walk, your health, your relationships. Mindset is real important. And so when you ask about mindset, for me around the food, that's exactly what happened. No, yeah, some of the stuff you cooked for me, I was like, oh my God, what is, like,
You can be
what
honest
is
with
this?
me. Yeah.
Right. What is this? But even though it was something that I was not used to, it wasn't that I was not going to take it. It was real important for me because I wanted to heal. And you talk about the mindset. I had to change the way I was looking at food. I had to change the way I thought about food. I had to really realize that in order for me to get well, in order for me to heal, it had to first show up here. It
Hmm.
had to show up here first. So in my mind, it was, even though this was stuff I would not eat or didn't know to eat, I'm going to eat it anyway. And it wasn't always pleasant to my taste buds. And again, because of the chemo, it wasn't always pleasant. However, I knew that if I kept eating it, even if it didn't taste good, my body would be okay. And
Hmm.
and but I had to get that through my mind, because it is hard if you're not used to eating vegetables, if
Hmm.
you're not used to eating certain foods that's going to help you on a cellular level, and you're used to the fast food and all that kind of mess that they put in it, then it's not going to taste
Right.
good,
You used
right?
to the salt and the grease
Right,
and the
right.
all
And
that.
so even that, like I would use this white salt, and it's like, okay, if you need salt, let's do a little bit of pink salt,
Right,
right?
right. I remember
Um,
you said to me, you said growing up you didn't like oatmeal and with the texture. So when I put it in front of you, but it was a different kind, it was like
yes.
organic raw oats, steel cut. And then you said, what did you put in there? It's a little different, right?
Mm-hmm,
Different than
mm-hmm,
what you used to, and then you were okay with it because when we added the chia seeds in there, it
right,
doesn't make it, it's less gooky, like
right.
goopy in a way, sticky. And then there's like walnuts and flaxseed, like all this stuff in
Yeah,
there that a lot of time people don't put. People just heat up the oatmeal and pretty much a little cinnamon, brown sugar, right? So
yeah,
I
yeah.
add a lot more, a little wholesomeness, and I think that was a little better. But it was like your mind had to shift from what you know in the past too.
E- Exactly,
Right.
exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
so that was important, and I'm glad you're really talking about the mindset around this.
Mhm.
And so
Because a lot of
if
people know if I eat this or I do this, I'll feel better, but why don't they do it? And really it comes
right,
down
and that's
to
what I was about to say. Like if in my mind I'm going, this is not what I'm used to. I'm not going to eat this. Um, then I'm not willing to heal,
Mhm.
right? I'm not willing to get to the
Do you
next
remember what
level.
you say to yourself though, mainly like what really help you be open or shift to just doing something that's new or
Yeah,
that you like?
absolutely. I didn't want to die. I'm
Mm,
going to be straight up.
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I had too much to do on the planet to allow this thing that invaded my body
Mhm.
to take me out of here. And
Mhm.
so I wanted to shift through everything about how I was showing up on the planet. If you've never been there, if you've never been to the point where, oh my God, something impactful that could take your life, like
Mhm.
we all know we're going to leave the planet. We all know that.
Mhm.
But if when you're facing it, it's a different thing. And so literally I had to say to myself, I need to show up for me
Mhm.
first, take care of me so that I can take care of my children.
Yeah.
Right. And so that was real important to me. And that was the thing that made me go, again, if you told me to eat this thing right here that looked like a pile of Martian poop, I would eat it because I wanted to get to the next level and my health, right? I didn't want to be there anymore. So
Mhm.
that was the reason why for me.
Yeah. But it's
Right.
the belief that, you know, I'm not gonna do harm to you. And
Yeah.
believe but also the belief comes with you try something, you give it a try, and it make you feel good.
Yeah.
So you connect it too. Because if I give you something, it's causing you a lot of pain,
Mm-mm,
it doesn't feel
mm-mm.
good, you're gonna be like, I don't know if I can't.
Please.
So the mindset of shift when we are building trust, also not just me and you, but creating a new relationship with food, right? For example, you didn't like Brussels sprout. You told me like, I don't like Brussels sprouts, but I'm gonna give it a try. But I
Right.
cook it in a way, I season in a way. You said, you know what? This actually tastes better than what I remember or what had. But then also you felt good. I know, we were checking how you feel. So I think also like day by day, building that trust within yourself and creating that new, but you're allowing your mind to be open, right? Allowing your mind to be open to say, let me give it a try again.
Right.
Not
Right.
just based on my old knowledge, my past experience, right? Because
Correct.
in general, it's really how you eat it. So like for example, I'll bring in my husband a little bit. If he said what I'm always giving in terms of food is salads or raw vegetables, he's like, if that's my association with vegetable, he's like, no, thank you, I don't want any vegetable.
Uh-huh.
You understand? And then I said, well, give this a try. Is it stir fries, cook, or season a different way? And I remember when we just met and I'll like put in a more of a curry, like an Indian, spices. He was like, oh, it's my first time eating Indian. I really like how the vegetables are made from this. So slowly by slowly, I was able to introduce him more and more vegetables because now he understands it's different when it's cooked or different sauce. So your mind expands. So it was a dance in the beginning,
Right.
just
Right.
getting the mind to change and shift and being open.
Yeah. 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 Absolutely. It is.
So,
It
so
definitely is a mindset shift.
what would you tell someone that is struggling though, and say, I just don't like the taste of the supplements. I don't like because it's important to get those nutrients, right? When we talk about the
Yeah.
isotonic supplements, especially that what's going to feed your cells, and you understand that you want your cell to heal. So we're
Right.
not just eating just feel good. So a lot of times we eat food that are not good for us, but it makes us feel good. We eat to feel good, but not really think about nourishing. And I know working with you, your mind is shifting to say, I want to heal my cells.
Right.
I'm
Right.
feeling, all those side effects from the chemo, right? Like you said, your
Hmm.
thumbs are swollen. You show me your fingernails. I think I put that picture up there too. Like your
Yeah.
fingernails were, raw and painful and all those
Hmm.
things. So your body is kind of falling apart in a way, and you want your body to heal, right? And so that was the mindset, right? You tell yourself, I
Yes,
want to heal, I want
yes.
to nourish myself.
Right. And then saying it, then you have to do the action, right? You have to do something about it. A lot of us, and especially a lot of us in the spiritual community, if I can go there for a second,
Yeah.
in the spiritual community, we do this thing where, oh God, please help me to whatever, whatever. And God says, okay, I'm going to send you a person like Yan who will teach you what you need to do on uh, um, not just a mental level, but how you eat right. What are some of the supplements that's going to help you with your to help you on a cellular level, to help you heal and all of that. So, and then God provides us, right, with that person. And then I go, no, no, that's not what I want. But wait, you just asked and I provided. And
Mm,
so you have to take
great
steps.
point.
You have, even if it doesn't taste right. I don't care
Mm,
about your taste buds in the moment. If you want to survive, and I shouldn't say it like that, I do care. If you want to survive, if you want to get to the next level in your healing, you have to be willing to do steps. You have to be willing to do things that other people are not willing to do. And so that means I'm not going to go to the bagel shop every day, or I'm not going to go to the donut shop every day. I'm not going to go and get coffee. Now, that's not to say that you cannot eat those things, but every single day you have to shift. And so that God has provided you with knowledge to do, or whatever you call your being that's going to help you to get to the next level and whatever it is you want to do. Literally will provide because you asked. We have not because we asked not, right? So you have. And then once it's provided to you, you go, oh no, that's not what I was looking for. Well, then, we have to do the work. One of my mentors says to me all the time, it works if you work it, right? The only thing that works is work. And
mhm.
so I have to put in the work to heal my body,
The
which
only
means
thing that
the
works is
food,
work. Yeah.
right? Which means the food is going to help me to heal. Regardless, I know I want it to taste good. That's the most important thing. But for me at that point, it was, I don't care if it tastes good. I want to heal. I want to be on the planet. So again, I'm going to go back to the thing that stood out the most for me is, if I don't do this, then what's going to happen? And so my why became more important than anything else. My
Mhm,
why is that I needed to be on the planet for my children
mhm,
who are amazing. And I
mhm,
want to make sure that they grow up to be powerful beings on the planet, right? That was my why. My why was so that I can, and I knew that I didn't go through this thing, if I could be honest, for just for myself. And so the sisters that we're now talking to online, that we're going to be talking to let them know that, listen, it's a mindset. And once we shift and you get into your spiritual walk, whatever that is, and you believe, then you can shift things because that's what it's all about. So I shifted the way I eat today.
mm.
It's
And this
really
is why
important.
I'm so excited, to meet all the community that are gonna to participate in your coaching group, because in this community, because I think people want that support and accountability, because
Yeah,
you can become weaker on your own if your mind is not strong and you
right,
can give in. When I say you're weaker in a way, your mindset, if you don't have that strong why, like you're talking about, and you just give in to your feelings and your fear and your doubt and things like that, that you're just going to just give into the negativity of it, or giving up. So that within this group, this community, we hold each other accountable. We'll help the women, just make better choices and make the hard choices, and
right,
so that
right.
they can have these amazing breakthroughs. So that's
Yeah.
what I'm looking forward to.
And the other thing too, yeah, and I love the way you just put it, the community, have women show up, differently. So in our families, if the way we're used to eating is unhealthy and you're trying to shift, but you have a whole group of folk who are also living in your space, it takes a lot to show up differently. And you have to have the courage to show up differently for yourself.
Mhm.
right? So if you're not used to cooking, like you talk about the brother who didn't want to eat vegetables, and they like fast food and they like fried foods and they like all the meats, the heavy meats and all of that. But now you're in this, a mindset where I need to heal myself. But that's your community, right? That's your family. That's who you live with. How do you then do that, Anne? How do you then um, show up for yourself in a nutritional way, a healthier way? How do
Well,
you
you
do
did
that
it.
in that community?
You did it. I want to show a beautiful example of what you did with your family, and I witnessed it throughout the whole process of working with you. Is you actually so when you have the food, you how you tell your little ones, and you tell them that these are food for me,
Mhm.
and they're there, to help me. You made it really special in a way where they are so curious. They're like, well, can I try some though? You know, because that's also the other thing that parents have a challenge with is picky eaters, not just adults with children, right? So the fact that they see that it's so important to you. You may emphasize how
Right,
important it is for you, and because you are important to them and they look up to you. So I think that's where the community is, starting with your family, and
right.
because you let them just taste it. You say, well, you can just have a little bit of tasting, and
Hmm.
then they taste it and they realize they like the taste. They start to be more curious and ask about
Right.
it, and that's how you started. And now I'm so surprised and so happy for you that some of your children have actually really expanded their taste by
Yeah.
liking certain vegetables, eating healthier. So I think that's where we want to take. We Of course it's not going to be 100%, but that shift is huge. I see that in your family that later on it makes it easier, even when you are cooking and talking about health. They're really interested in talking about health right now, right? And they're
Mm.
sharing how they
Yes.
feel. So you
Yes.
start from you, and then you share with your family.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. And you're right. The little ones, and I love it that we're
Well, you did
starting
that though. You
now.
did that. You emphasized, you told them, because you took the process working with me and your healing process very seriously. And they
Yes.
didn't know what you were going through. They just know
No.
that you weren't feeling well and that
Right.
you needed this healthy food. And so they already have a sort of connection. Children are
Hmm.
very smart. They connected with, oh, there's food that makes you feel healthy. There's food that makes you not feel good, right? And so they're paying attention. And so that I think
Right.
what we say, what we do, what we eat is so important in front of your children.
Right. Yeah. It's true.
And I don't know if you did that purposely, but it has a positive effect in your family, because not only because you were well, but because your mind shift and back to mindset, because your mind shifted, you help your family shift. And that's
Yes.
actually part of the family therapy theory. The relationship theory is when you shift, your family will shift.
Yes, yes, and it's true. And I don't know if it was purposely or if I was being selfish in the moment, but and I also tell, sisters, it's okay to be selfish. It
Mhm,
really is. It's not a bad thing.
mhm,
Within reason, right? I want you to be okay with who you are,
mhm.
right? And that's real important. And showing up in your selfish self is okay.
Yes,
Right.
right.
And
That's
so in that moment, yeah, and with the food, I was like, yo, no, no, no. This was for me. Um, but yes, you can taste it. And I'm glad I did it. And you're absolutely correct in that it did help the family to shift because my children will ask every morning, every night for their supplements. They will eat
I
their
love it.
broccoli and Brussels sprouts. It's like who, you know, things like that. It's like, what in the world? They ask for fruits,
Mhm.
certain fruits. They were eating, kiwi. Can I have my kiwi? Can I have my pomegranate? They went out and got pomegranate. That's like who? So yes, they
I
will
love
do
it. I see a little girl and she's eating the snacky on the seaweeds. I'm like, oh, great.
seaweed.
That's fantastic.
Absolutely.
It's good for the brain. And I'm like, yeah, this. So if this is where, we talk to talk, walk to walk. And so you're here and looking fabulous and beautiful, and be able to, walk the sister through all of that,
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So this is another great topic that we have.
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to next week and sharing
Yes.
more. with the
Yeah, this
community.
was amazing. Thank you. I appreciate this.
You're welcome. All
Absolutely.
righty. Well, you have a wonderful day,
Thank you.
and I'm looking
And
forward to our next session here.
yeah, yes. And let me say this. It's never too late to connect with your truth. What's your truth today, sisters? What's
Okay.
your truth?
Okay.
Stand in it. Be strong in it. Peace and blessings.